Hey guys, Patrick here. Welcome 2023, first video of the new year. Hopefully you're doing great. Want to talk about something that sort of I was introduced to earlier this week, and it's sort of just churning around in me old brain. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on it for what they're worth. And it is this, the chat AI stuff, artificial intelligence, that basically allows you to have things created for you. You type in a bunch of things that you'd like this AI bot to write, and then boom, it spits out an essay or a blog or an article, whatever it is. So yeah, I've got a few thoughts to share. So first, artificial intelligence, AI, think fake grass, artificial turf. It's supposed to look like the real thing. We're supposed to think it's the real thing, but we all know it's not the real thing. And I think there's a certain sort of food for thought with that whole concept.
This is your Niagara Real Estate Podcast.
So I guess for me, the question is, what is it being used for? What's the intent behind using AI or artificial turf, right? Is it being used for efficiency? Is it being used to speed something up that otherwise takes you away from the more important work that you want to do? Or is it being used as a cheat code, a sort of hack, a way to game the system? So with any tool, you can use a tool for all kinds of different ways, right? You can have a hammer that you use to hammer nails, to build something, to create something, to say, look at that, I built that. That's a hammer being used. Or you can use that same hammer to smash some glass to break into somebody's house and steal their stereo. So look at Instagram, for example. If you're building up an Instagram community by posting things that are meaningful or people are connecting with, right? You're building community, you're building something. You're using a hammer to build that thing that you could sit back and say, look, I built this community. We have this great interaction, this great following, and I did it genuinely. I planted my own grass seeds, as opposed to I want to get buy followers. We get asked all the time, do you want to buy followers? All of a sudden I got 50,000 followers. I've created this thing and it looks like something, but in your heart, when you look at it, it's not real grass, right? It's fake grass. And then you can see that in the interactions and the back and forths on an account like that it's built up on something where somebody just wanted to get to the front of the line and create something fast, right? Rather than create it slow and make it more meaningful. So that applies everywhere in life, including in the Instagram world. So take that to the real estate world. We have to write ad copy. So when you put up a new listing, you write, 123 Main Street. Oh my gosh, you should see the floors, the backyard, the bathroom, the furnace, whatever. You write this article. I know a lot of realtors don't like doing that. It's not their jam. It's not their wheelhouse. So yes, could you then look at AI as a tool for efficiency there, where you're going to have it create something, then you can maneuver it and manipulate it at the end just to tweak it and make it yours, then yeah, I could see that as making sense. It's a genuine way to use something like that. Again, making you more efficient to go then and do the work that you want to do. That makes sense to me. So as somebody who's written a blog for years, we've got hundreds on our website going back to 2010. Our very first one was about landscaping and why it's an investment well made. There's something to be said when I can go on and I can tell the AI bot to write me 8 blogs tomorrow about why I should live in North and St. Catharines, or living on the beach down on Lake Erie is amazing, or restaurants in Niagara Falls or whatever. I take all these blogs and I spit them out all over the digital universe, and I stand there and I say, look at all these blogs I've put out there. I haven't done anything. So when I look at our blogs that we've done over the years, we've got hundreds of them. Those are blogs that we've written, that we've created, that we built with our own hammer, right? And we've put it out there. So then people interact with it. We put out a blog tomorrow about X, and I can go back in a couple of weeks and see that 608 people have read it. I love that. And I created it, I'm proud of it, and that excites me. And then I hope to have interactions with people that say, you know what, we read that blog, we really liked it. I love that, I'm proud of that. Had I got an AI bot to write this blog and somebody saw me in the grocery store and say, hey, I read your blog about pools in the spring market. If I just downloaded it off an AI bot, that doesn't feel so good. And that's the hack, the cheat code, the cutting to the front of the line thing that for me does not float my boat. That whole blog written by us for you thing, I think that's so immensely important. So the idea that I'm going to write a blog, or you're going to write a blog, and you're going to read it and we're going to interact, that's what it's all about. Versus I'm going to figure out a way to not write a blog, but I'm going to write 30 of them, and I'm going to put them out there everywhere so I can get not only your attention, but you. What is the point of that? Because it's fake, right? Between me and you, the reader, there's this pretense that I made it when I know in my heart I didn't, and perhaps you in your heart know that I didn't either, which is, I think, part of the innate problem in all of this. Question for you. What if your favorite album was AI generated? What if, Radiohead OK Computer, or Beatles Abbey Road, or Beethoven's Fifth Symphony? What if you found out after the fact that it was actually just made by a computer generated program that somehow wrote exit music by using the artificial intelligence, which if it did, kudos. But would that not undermine or water down or even just destroy your love of that particular piece of music, right? And again, going back to writing blogs or doing some kind of creative output to make it more efficient. Sure, if I was a musician or a band, I could become super efficient. I'm just going to get an AI bot to write an album a day. And I know me writing a blog is a bit different than the Beatles writing Abbey Road, but the pretense or the concept is the same. And that is, I'm making something, I want you to engage with it, and then we have some kind of meaningful interaction. Maybe we don't, but maybe you still engage with it, enjoy it on your end, and I'm on my end making it and enjoying the output and the creative piece of it, right? Versus, I'm going to make a request on a search bar to write me an album, and I'm going to just splatter it out there, and hopefully you enjoy it. So yeah, I don't think the human element can ever be replicated. I think we produce the soft edges, the little bits and pieces, the subtle nuance, those emotional intangibles, the analogies, the food for thought. I think even the best AI, if you're reading an article, you're reading a book, you can tell it's kind of squared off in the corners. It's not going to have those little bits and pieces that tug on your heartstrings or engage you. I think, much like the best artificial turf, you can still tell it's artificial turf. So if you're a realtor and you're going to use AI to write all your blogs, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out. But if you're going to have this chat thing produce 8 blogs a day that you're going to claim as your own, I think there's something to think about there. There's something to give serious thought to as far as the intent and what is getting put out to the world and why you're doing it. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on it, sort of input, feelings, pro or con. By all means, leave that in the comments below. I'm open to discussion on it. This is just where my take is on it, having only been exposed to it and seeing it in action earlier this week. Alrighty, thank you for joining me. As you can tell, my knowledge, my in-depth knowledge of this AI stuff is not overly intricate, but I understand the big picture of it, and I know that it's a new tool, and whenever a new tool comes along, there's people that will use it for good things and people will use it for the other stuff. And so I would just encourage, whether you're a consumer or a creator or an artificial creator, just be aware of what we're going to see coming down the pipe in the near future. I think we're going to see some people that have never written a blog in their life. All of a sudden, they've got 10 coming out a week, and it's about all these different topics. And I don't know. For me, that's something to keep an eye on for my own food for thought, as it were. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're not subscribed to this channel, I strongly encourage you to do so. If you're curious what's going to happen in the Niagara real estate market as we go through 2023, please do subscribe. We're going to keep content coming all throughout the year to keep you in the loop on what's going on. It's going to be a partially boring year, partially fascinating year, and I'll explain that in future videos as well. Okay, thank you. Take care. See ya. Bye.